Hey, what's up guys, this is the Eternal Phoenix again. So, I guess everybody in the ethers wants me to read this, or continue reading this aloud. Do keep in mind that this is pretty graphic. I did find it on the internet. I didn't hack anybody's shit for it. Okay. So I think the government has some explaining to do to the American people at this point, because it's bigger than just me and my town at this point. So, do keep in mind that this is on, I tried to post this PDF online months ago and it wouldn't upload, but I have it in my possession about the monarch butterfly program. Okay. Do keep in mind that this book is 756 pages long. Okay, it's that extensive, that detailed. Okay. So, this is not for the faint of heart, so if you're weak-minded, you probably don't want to listen, okay? Because this is some real shit, okay? So this guy, the author of it, I believe is, I'll find it at the end, but he says, I hope that God gives me the strength and the opportunity to get this information I've learned out to the world in general. When this information gets out, hopefully it will help lift some secrecy of the monarch programming. The monarch programming is a foundation rock of the New World Order that, when pulled up, will reveal the most evil two-legged bugs and slimy critters. When their rock is lifted, they will have to scurry to hide, because the authors know what programmers do. They must honestly record several areas of programming that will be controversial. The programmers are very much into demonology. Before therapists close their minds to the subject, the authors would like to point out that they personally know of cases where monarch slaves whose Christian personalities and other altars didn't believe in demonology were talked into practicing in real deliverance, and the slaves discovered, much to their surprise, that they had successfully tried for 2 years with their therapist was accomplished in a day or two. Really? Sorry about that. Anyways, I had an interruption. Fucking bitch. Anyways, some prestigious researchers have decided the subconscious doesn't exist because they can't find it. It's mysterious. To the man in the street, the concept subconscious is as mysterious as the concept demon. Both have been the objects of intense research by U.S., Brit, and German intelligence groups. Never does it say Russian, ever, by the way. In fact, many of the concepts in this book have been purposely obscured by the Illuminati's control over the media and universities. These obscured concepts include MPD or DID, recovered memories, hypnosis, demonic possession, aliens, mind control, the subconscious, a conspiracy to bring in the NWO, truth, etc. The smokescreens of controversy will continue, but those who love the truth, if they seek it, will realize the importance of this book. It's on public record that MKUltra, the mind control research which CIA Director Admiral Stansfield Turner admitted to in 1977, spent millions of dollars studying voodoo, witchcraft, and physics. On August 3rd, 1977, a Senate hearing, then CIA Director Admiral Stansfield Turner disclosed that the CIA had been conducting mind control on countless numbers of unsuspecting victims for years, without their knowledge or consent. These CIA mind control operations were carried out with the participation of at least 185 scientists and at least 80 American institutions, including prisons, pharmaceutical companies, hospitals, and 44 colleges and universities. Many of America's most prestigious institutes of medical research had cooperated with the CIA, as well as numerous big-name corporations. Casey admitted that day that the CIA did mind control consisting of drugs, hypnosis, and electroshock. A few of the victims of the Monarch Project were even awarded financial compensation for their misery. But what was omitted was omitted in the spirit of covering up the extent of the truth. The compensation was actually hush money because victims were given gag orders by judges not to talk about what happened to them. And I've already read this part. So it's been a disaster for monarch victims that so many ministers have ignored those words of their scripture. For we are not ignorant to the devil's devices. 2 Corinthians 2:11. This book is a must for those ministers who seriously believe, having therefore these promises, dearly beloved, let us cleanse ourselves from all filthiness of the flesh and spirit, perfecting holiness of the fear of God. It says, this first step in suggesting a secure The first step in suggesting a cure for all this bullshit is to find out what really happened. That is what this book is about. This book is about how the occult network, not all, but creates the problem that therapists and a few ministers try to deal with. And that's the thing, it got twisted. It's not the occult network. They abused it, and then they made it to where it looked like the occult network. But the keys to open doors to healthy solutions for the victims of trauma-based mind control will reveal themselves in this book for the reader. As this happens, reveals the nitty-gritty of how the total mind control happens. Christ came to free the captives, Isaiah 61:1. Satanic, again, if you go back in one of my videos, satanic means like evil. It doesn't necessarily say a person or a specific deity. So keep that in mind. Good King Hezekiah was a victim of was a victim as a child of SRA. Who got free? Moses confronted the satanic magic of Pharaoh's magicians who could create live snakes from sticks. The Apostle Paul had to deal with Simon Magus, a leader of what is now known as Satanism. No. Solomon, one of the greatest men of faith, backslid and became one of the greatest Satanists of all history. We have no fellowship with unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. That's bullshit. Yes, Solomon was like a man of faith, but he abused it. He abused the knowledge that he was given. It says, while we have no fellowship with evil, the mind control programmers are counting on us, being so ignorant of their devices that they can hide their control devices behind perversion and filth that many people shy away from. We must be strong enough to face evil and not shy away from it. The victims of mind control must look evil in the face and not look away to gain their freedom. We who want to help them must be courageous and strong enough to do this too. It says this book was written for the divine goal that till we all come in this unity of faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, look up the word God, into a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ. Ephesians 4:13. If the body of Christ is to attain fullness, we need this book to weed out the hidden terrible cancer that is consuming the body from within. So I've already went over the terms. You'll have to go back and look at on my page. Okay. So let me give you a rundown. The Monarch program is based upon Illuminati and Nazi goals. Not true. It was not Nazi. It was fucking American. That is American. It was not Nazi. Nazi actually was originally a Christian group, believe it or not. Goals to create a master race in part through genetics. So they were genetically modifying humans. That's literally what it says right there. If knowledge can be passed genetically, which it is, then it's important, or like I theorized, genetic curses. Then it's important that parents be found that can pass the correct knowledge onto those victims selected for the monarch mind control. The primary important factor for the trauma-based mind control is the ability to disassociate. It was discovered that this ability is passed genetically from generation to generation. American Indian tribes who had traumatic ritual dances and who would wait motionless for hours when hunting. I don't know. I don't think it was traumatic ritual dances. It was a part of their spirit journey, or their spirit walk with their ancestors, I believe is what they called it. And yes, it could have gotten traumatizing because of what they saw from their ancestors, the horror. It says it was discovered that this ability could be passed genetically from generation to generation. So keep that in mind. Children of I think it's fakirs, I think, in India, who would sleep on a bed of nails or walk on hot coals. Children of yogis who skilled in yoga would have total control over their body in trance. Tibetan Buddhists, children of voodoo, Bizongo, and other groups have good ability to disassociate. Children of multi-generational abuse are also good at disassociation. This is the Illuminati families and European occultists went to India and Tibet to study occultism and Eastern philosophy. So it says apparently the skills were passed on. The Europeans went and learned yoga, tantric yoga, meditations, and trances, and other methods to disassociate. So not only does it saying that they used other people's methods to do this shit, and then wanted to call everybody crazy and burn them at the stake. So these skills are passed on to their children via genetics. A test is run when the children are about 18 months old to determine if they can disassociate enough to be selected for programming or not. Mind control slaves are created for different purposes, hierarchy or non-hierarchy purposes. There's some that are slaves who are within the system to control, who can function within the Illuminati hierarchy. It says these slaves will usually have their genealogies hidden and will be created to have excellent cover lives to ensure that they are not detected. Oops. They will be given multifunctional programming and will usually be used to help program other slaves. The abuse will not be as physically visible as it will be on the bodies of slaves who are not born to be a part of the Illuminati elite. Elite my ass. The members of the Morai, or the Illuminati, Luciferian elite, will have undergone as much trauma as other slaves. However, the torture scars and the control are better concealed. These children will often receive lavish experiences as well as talks to convince them that they are part of the elite. By the way, body scars will show up better under blacklight. That is the same blacklight as used in clubs. They've also, other organizations have programmed individuals who are simply expendable. Sex slaves who are used up and killed very early in life, one-time use saboteurs, breeders, soldiers, drug couriers, and so forth. The bodies of these people will often show visible torture scars. The expendable are the children of parents who are blackmailed into turning their children over to the CIA. I was going to say CPS, not CIA. This is all hidden by the power of the National Security Act. These are children who have been sold by pedophile fathers or pornographic parents. The programmers' masters program them with the expectation that they will be thrown from the freedom train when they get to age 30. Operation Freedom Train? Freedom Train is the code word for the monarch trauma-based mind control. To be thrown from the freedom train means to be killed. Yep. And I said it too. I said Operation Freedom Train is a go, and guess what? And they still ain't giving me my money. It says they were skilled. The Illuminati are skilled at blackmailing parents to give up their children. They would watch the mail for porn. Pedophile and murderers who abuse their children are warned that they will go to prison for long lengths of time if they do not cooperate by selling their children into mind control slavery. In return for the parents' cooperation, they provide rich financial rewards to the parents. It's clearly a case if you don't cooperate, you lose in life big time. If you do cooperate, you win big. That's fucked up. Nope. Not kidding me. Not kidding whoever asked me energetically. No. Ministers are often set up with betas, a sexual model, who then blackmail them. The ministers do not want to lose their status and profession via scandals, so they agree to turn the children over when they're young to the CIA or work with. I don't know, Rumpelstiltskin? Don't remember that story? No. I don't drink, cause when I'm gone, Y'all remember Rumpelstiltskin, right? Nope. Be retarded. It says the Illuminati like to blackmail these ministers when they are finished with their seminary school and committed to the ministry of about 33 years of age. Jesus was 33 years of age when he died, but he said no because he saw this bullshit coming from a mile away. Our history is all fucked up. It's all fucked up. They have it all fucked up. And Enoch knew that. And they eliminated that book from the Bible. Didn't they, Enoch? The idea of having nothing to fall back on after they have committed their entire life to one profession is too much for these weak-willed men, and they buckle under the threats. If they don't buckle under it, the resulting consequences will remove them from ministry. I'm just trying to skim, because some of this is just like... Okay, so when the Monarch programming started, the top men were Illuminati. Originally, Joseph Mengele was a lead programmer. He had already achieved the rank of Grand Master, later Epiphanius, within the Illuminati. He had become skilled in music, in Kabbalistic magic, in dancing, in abortions, and in torture. By the way, Mengele had a sadistic mother and programming children. Many of the concentration camp children that Mengele programmed will still survive and still love him to this day as Daddy. Not me. Mengele disappeared from Auschwitz in January 1945, several months before the final chaos began in the Third Reich. He disappeared so the Illuminati could smuggle him to the U.S. What was that guy? There was a movie I watched here a while back. That, because I like, watching movies from the European side instead of our side, because we're always fucking this shit up. So that his exceptional knowledge of programming, honed and fine-tuned on thousands of concentration camp victims, would be put to use on a grand scale in the U.S. He traveled worldwide, but especially in western U.S., doing his programming, accompanied by his pair of 2 black servants. Fucked up. All the way. It says American Monarch survivors remember his spotless German uniform, his shiny boots which he wore during programming, his thick German accent, and he was a fake and a fraud because he actually, I can't remember the guy's name, but there was a movie that I watched here a while back about it, that he impersonated an officer his entire military career because he was actually a traitor to the German Reich. Same guy. Oops. There goes history. It's true. It's true. It was the same guy. And then the U.S. smuggled him out because he was a traitor. He was a sick son of a bitch, and they knew it. It gives Germany a bad name because it wasn't all them. And it wasn't just Hitler. Joseph Mengele. His handsome features, his cleft chin, the space in his front teeth, and the way he would jab his thumb while programming as if he were saying links, rechts, I don't know how to say it, sorry, to lines of Jews coming into the concentration camps. The reason Mengele was so excited to do the selection process of inmates coming into Auschwitz was that he was choosing inmates for his numerous mind control trauma experiments. He was especially anxious to get identical twins because his genetic research related to mind control needed persons of identical genetic makeup. Traditionally, the Illuminati have been giving their children inspected by a woman with the rank of grandmother. She would determine the fitness of the children and then present them for a formal acceptance ceremony at the age of 3 to the Grand Druid Council. Or Druid. Not true. Made that up. Their Grand Druid Council is evil too here. Not to overseas because it's way different. They use other sects and denominations and groups to hide their sick bullshit. This procedure didn't change when Mengele came over. The programming had just jumped from being an occult science to one that had full access to the medical. But I thought, according to science, because it says to the medical, psychiatric, judicial, scientific, and governmental sectors via the power of the National Security Act and the intelligence agencies. But I thought I thought that wasn't true. It had to be one or the other. Isn't that right, United States government? No, wrong, wasn't it? Says the Illuminati programming and multiples prior to Mengel's arrival were simplistic compared to the sophisticated techniques engineered by the Nazi Germans. No. They were researching. They weren't experimenting per se. Not some of them. Not all of them. There were some, like, I don't know, Joseph Stalin. Oh, wait, is that the same person? Is it? That's interesting. Mind control's research includes some non-German nationals, such as Italians. Imagine fucking that. Nope. It says, just as a victim who was killed by an 18th century musket is just as much as victimized as someone killed by an M16, so a victim of the pre-1946 programming was just as victimized as those programmed with more sophisticated techniques. So they beefed it up. It says the child's programming is planned by the Circle. I don't know. The Umbrella Corporation in the fucking Resident Evil movies. That's what I think. Just saw. Just saying. It says from the Illuminati's perspective, their plans involve generational spirits and positions within the hierarchy. Spirits. So that acknowledges the existence of spirits. Okay. The child is conceived according to the rituals. The steps that the child will go through follows a well-thought-out, detailed regimen for programming it. In contrast, the children from foster homes or pedophiles do not receive the same regimen. Hierarchy slaves will in turn be used to program and train other hierarchy children, while CIA slaves and Mafia slaves and KKK slaves will be discarded. This is why a presidential model is thrown from the Freedom Train, the name of the monarch program in the underworld. Women and men in the Illuminati will continue to help with the programming their entire lives. Not anymore, motherfuckers. The Illuminati is programming such vast numbers of children, they need every one of their able members to help. Morai's total membership worldwide numbers in the millions. They burnt out. It's a shocker, so if you don't want to hear it, exit now. Because guess what? Warning. The Illuminati regimen for the children is far more controlling than the CIA's programming. Not everyone in the Illuminati gets their mind split and becomes a program multiple. Split? Anybody? The movie Split? However, everyone does get some type of mind control. Those who have been spared multiplicity still must participate in 2-week intense mind control session that might be compared to the Army Ranger School. Those who participate in this haven't learned obedience. Those who haven't learned obedience are forced into ritual gladiator-type duels or other punishments to eliminate them. Finally, a traitor's death, as pictured on one of the tarot cards, is waiting. Sharon Tate was left hanging in the number 12 tarot card's hangman position from the house rafters. Not anymore. The best therapists will quietly admit that traditional therapy is inadequate unless God intervenes. People who are born in the Illuminati don't escape it while alive. Jackasses. This book is a mere exercise of academic thinking, but is written with the assurance that freedom is possible. There are viable answers. Some children live in foster homes or with adopted parents, or in orphanages, or with caretakers or guardians. Because these children are at the mercy of the non-related adults. These types of children frequently are sold to become mind-controlled slaves of the intelligence agencies. The overall usage of slaves crosses many organizational boundaries within the overall network. That's what they call it. Oh, that's what they called it in the Matrix too, didn't they? Nope. If a slave is used to be used as a Delta model or assassination, they may be selected for strength and dexterity. The Delta Force is the Army's elite unit made up of monarch slaves. It's actually Marines. Because that part is wrong. So it's Marines. If they're to operate as a beta model, sexual slave, they will be chosen if they can master technique. Occasionally they might in some circumstances be selected for pretty the programmers expect the child to become. Some parents have produced good-looking children and are actually sought after to bear children to sell in the mind control slavery freedom train system. However, vastly more important for beta sex slaves are their ability to be programmed to have charm, seductive skills, charisma, and creativity. Oops. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and the programmers can put almost any kind of body to use as a sex slave. I mean, the artwork of the European artist M.C. Escher is exceptionally well suited for programming purposes. For instance, in his 1947 drawing Another World, the rear plane in the center serves as a wall in relation to the horizon, a floor in connection with the view through the top opening, and a ceiling in regards to the view up towards the starry sky. Reversals, mirror images, illusion, and many other qualities appear in Escher's artwork, which make all 76 or more of his major works excellent for programming. The use of these kinds of elements we'll explain later. So, in Solomon's Goetic Demons, there's 72, so they're missing 4. He missed 4. Solomon missed 4 in that collection. Nope, I'm not joking. I do not joke, Jester Kid. That's true. So 5 children, each given the name, the same Alice in Wonderland scribble, each use the script differently during programming. The programmer takes the child's own creativity and works with that unique creativity. The child must create the images itself if the programming is to hold. It won't work if the images are someone else's. The child organizes its internal world to suit his or her own experiences, such as castle boxes, room, and dollhouses. Literally, you building your own reality. Literally. The pause, you know what the pause is, right? Where they did the personality testing. Will continue during the early years of the slave's life to make sure the programming has not driven the child crazy or psycho. The child will move down the script decided for his whole life based on these early tests. More about this, how this works. It comes later. The pause test can actually show how easy a person can be hypnotized. If the testing by the EEG doesn't reveal a child who can be easily hypnotized, they will be rejected for programming, even though modern drugs and extreme torture in some cases will be applied to salvage children. They really think they need to be programmed, but are clearly not easily hypnotizable. EEGs can also be used to see what the state of consciousness the brain is in. The monarch programming is based on structured MPD altered systems, which is covered in Chapter 7. There's 12 chapters to this book. But, Gettinger believed that base differences exist in people, which is one of the bases for the monarch programming. His work was not accepted by mainstream psychology. In 1974, Göttinger described the pause system, the personality assessment system, indicates the kinds of internal and external cues to which the individual is most likely to respond, suggests the types of stimuli that are most likely to produce behavioral change, and C, provides an understanding of the inter and intra and impersonal environments in which a person is most likely to function efficiently, and offers insight into what constitutes stress and predicts probable behavior responses such as stress, including maladjustment, should occur. So, organization practicing this mind-based control. Air Force intelligence, Army intelligence, such as CIC, I don't know, Commander-in-Chief. Just saying, it's an acronym. Atomic Energy Commission, Boeing, British Intelligence, MI6, Bureau of Narcotics, Bureau of Prisons, Catholic Church, knew that, Jesuits, Intelligence Agency, Charismatic Movement, Church of Satan, Church of Scientology, Service, CIRVIS, Club 12 and Club 41, Country Music Industry, Defense Intelligence Agency, DIA, Department of Justice, Federal Bureau, Freemasonry, Lodge, Sierra, and other Masonic affiliated organizations, Japan, German Intelligence, Shabak or GHG, Hollywood, the House of Saudi Arabia, the Illuminati, the Circle, Morai Conquering Wind, Gnostics, Luciferians, not all of us, by the way, at all levels is involved in trauma-based mind control as perpetrators and victims, including Frats Saturni, Orden Fraternitas Saturni, I think that's how you say it, THFS, Fogo, Golden Dawn, Anti-C, Luce, and so forth, KKK, Mafia, Masons, Mossad, Mormon, NASA, NSA, national programs, neo-Nazi groups, which that was probably a given. OTO, there are 4 groups. P4, elite M16 sections. Palo Mayombes, Process Church and its offshoot, Shingun, etc. Professional baseball, such as the LA Dodgers. Russian government intelligence groups, not always. But GRU and KGB's successor, historically and early known as Spets, or Spetsnaz. Spetsnaz all the way. Just saying, they're smarter. No offense to American people, but we stupid for now. Or y'all stupid. Known as Spets Bureau, number 1 called Kamera in Russian, which means chamber, did drug hypnosis, mind control research. The Spets Bureau was responsible for assassinations. Oh well. Kill the stupid. Santeria, Satanic Hubs, Temple of Power, Umbanda, U.S. Army, especially the Delta Forces and 1st Earth Battalion, USAF, Veterans Administration, Werewolf Order. What the fuck is a Werewolf Order, by the way? It says it right there. Werewolf Order. Some witchcraft groups besides Satanism and the Morai. That acknowledges the existence of the actual occult, and it works. But if, they'll put you in a fucking whatever the fuck if you try to attempt to, use it against them. Oops. They don't like it when you give them their own medicine. But guess what? They're about to see the 50 states barrel. So there's 4 different stages. One programmer named the stages 2, 3, and 4 as stages 1, 2, and 3. But here's the thing. It's not linear. We always think in 1, 2, 3 or 3, 4, 3, 2. You know what I'm saying? It's not. There's no specific order. Just like in Coedding's book, the gateways that you go through, same thing. That's it. Same thing. It is. It's the truth. 1917, before Superman appeared in comics and movies, Aleister Crowley was writing about Superman. The magical idea is to capture a soul from the 4th dimension. In the book Moonchild, the villa used to produce a moonchild was called the Butterfly Net. The Monarch Project then was named after the monarch butterfly and is also an allusion, not illusion, allusion with A, to the Moonchild Project, where butterflies are an allusion to souls, what Christians call demonic spirits. So guess what? The demons that y'all think are so demonic, they're not evil. Pop goes your bubble. It says the actual rituals carried out to create a moonchild are described in detail in 3 of Crowley's writings. A vague description of the rituals can be seen by reading the book Moonchild. The ritual book placed a villa nicknamed the Butterfly Net. The villa was really an occult temple laid out in sacred geometrics. So was Stonehenge. It had figures of satyrs, fauns, and nymphs. It had statues of Artemis, lots of silver objects and crescents, and 9-pointed stars, which I'd already theorized about, were at the villa, because these objects all relate to the moon and magic. The number 9, which is sacred to the moon, was used along with its square 81. Prayers were made to Artemis, and there was the reenactment of the capture of Diana by Pan. The woman was coached to identify herself with what is known as the grandmother moon. In the book, she's simply called the moon or Diana. By identifying her thoughts and actions with the deities one is wanting to invoke. The creation of the Moon Children within the Monarch Project involves high-level magic by the circle of Illuminati black magicians involved with a particular individual's programming. It should be noted that the Grand Master and Grand Dame altars will understand demonology, but the sections levels of altar above them are not informed. I don't know. The troop is the sidekick. Woo! Wee! Nope. All. So, now I'll stop because I'm tired of reading to you motherfuckers. Anyways, that's all I have for now. But I've already went over this like numerous times. I can't post the PDF because it won't work, but if you want to email me, it's in the description. I'll be glad to send it to whoever. I'm the Eternal Phoenix, and I'm still rising from the ashes, motherfuckers.